Hello, I'm Dave Gibson, editor of Third Wednesday Magazine, an independent quarterly journal of literary and visual art. Here with another reading by one of our contributing poets. D.E. Green spent decades teaching English at Augsburg University. He has published articles on Shakespeare, general interest essays, and poetry. His poem Gratitude won the 2018 Martin Lake Journal Bookend Prize. Other work has appeared in Bright Light, Stories in the Night, in the 2021 Red Wing Arts Poet-Artist Collaboration, and in several issues of Willows Wept Review. You can even find Doug's poems on the sidewalks of his hometown of Northfield, Minnesota, which I think is a hotbed of poetry in the Midwest. His first collection, Jumping the Median, was published in October of 2019 by Encircle Publications. Doug has been an occasional poet for 35 years, and now let me welcome Doug Green.
Good evening. I'm Doug Green and D.E. Green, and I am here to read a little bit from my book, Jumping the Median. And I'll just get right to it. You can find this book, by the way, at Encircle Publications. It's also available through Amazon or your local bookstore can order it. The first poem that I'll read is called Pink Cadillac. It's from early in the book. And we'll just get right to it. Pink Cadillac. Through the downpour, she was scurrying toward the pink Cadillac. The best romances always have lots of rain for atmosphere, a writer once told me. So I knew before the turning of a page that the book would satisfy me, that the water running up and back in windshield streams would lead to love, that the pink-finned antique car spelled sex, the kind you don't get every day. That's the kind of world I want to live in, not the one where I have to worry about putting potatoes on the table and tucking the kids in every night. What about desire? What about romance? What about songbirds? Why aren't we living in that book? Why isn't every living page crammed with rain and lust and a pink Cadillac? The next one is, it's hard to believe, based on a true story. Course requirement. Once, I gave my underwear to a professor of Greek. I had to. She required them so that she could dye them black. We were putting out on the Ajax by Sophocles, and I was playing Teucer, the eponymous hero's younger brother, who apparently ran around in a little Robin Hood getup. And I was shy and afraid of the professor, who was attractive and very smart and funny and, yes, sexy, and I was an idiot, still am. And so naturally, I just turned in my underwear. I did very well in that class. People came from all over New England to hear us speak in the old style, in the tragic poet's ancient Greek, and to see me in my blackened Fruit of the Looms. And I think we'll change gears here a little bit and do something somewhat more serious. I like to start out light and move to the heavier stuff. So this is the poem from which the title Jumping the Median, the title of the book Jumping the Median comes. It's called Charlie Chaplin Jumps the Median. In the movie, of course, Charlie Chaplin would jump the median, the Model A rolling over several times and landing wheels up and spinning. The little tramp would crawl out the passenger side window, dust himself off, fetch his bowler from the wreck, and waddle down the sloping road and across the bridge, a long, slow shot that holds him and us until he disappears. But that's not, of course, what happens. In reality, the wreck's a wreck. The tramp, a late middle-aged guy trying to make ends meet in very bad times. Some very young National Guardsmen en route to weekend maneuvers at the nearby base see the car spin on invisible black ice, tip over as it crests the median, and come to rest against the barrier at the top of the hill by the underpass. It could, they think, have been worse. They help him out, call 911, wait with him. He feels older than his half century, but grateful for their solicitude. The boys leave for Afghanistan in the end. When the cops come, who in turn surrender to a state trooper, a tow truck, and a winch. The tramp isn't hurt, but doesn't duck walk across the bridge. The trooper drops him with a box of stuff from the car accumulated over years at the light rail. He rides to work as if on a normal day, meets his class on time, laughs with students about his brush with fate and about their classmate who's been bemoaning how destiny denied her a timely parking spot and how awful her morning's been. For the moment, he's alive. He's fully present to them and to himself. He feels the here-ness of being here. For a moment, he forgets the hidden hand that drove him over the median, losses that make him wish the end had not been happy. His father shaking with Parkinson's, his mother fretting, feeding her husband pill after pill, denying the inevitable end. The sister broke again and trapped in a loveless marriage. His favorite niece drunk nightly. His son darkening within. His sad, sad wife sighing into oblivion. The little tramp's resilience, it's a trick of the cinematic eye, a play of light and shadow on a blank screen. It's the triumph of illusion over reality, and it isn't enough or fair. Charlie Chaplin walks out of the wreckage. The second to last poem I'm going to read is the most political, or one of the more political poems in the book. There aren't a lot. I think it still may have some resonance. The would-be naturalist goes birding. So those 4 eagles I saw yesterday, they turned out to be turkey vultures, circling low over the pond and the field, tilting and shimmying on a brisk wind. It felt a little like the loss of patriotism back when I was in college and Nixon fired Archibald Cox and proved he was the presidential liar I'd denied he was. Mistaking those vultures for eagles, losing those damned eagles felt like losing faith in the one holy Catholic and apostolic church all over again. Wasn't once enough? So this morning I went out with an urbane biologist who admitted he wasn't sure either about the bird that swooped down over us, scavenging, its eyes peeled for something to fill its maw, like Nixon, not trusting the democracy he believed he was defending to give him the votes he needed, and so grabbing them instead. Nature's hunger, American greed. You understand better after eagles disappear, turn vulture, that we live among the dead, that large black wings cast shadows over us, harbingers of grief, those night dark silhouettes. And the last poem that I'm going to read is the last poem in the book. And it's a love poem, a little bit unusual love poem. A topography of love for Becky. Just as erosion and receding glaciers have sculpted grandeur and the majesty of canyons, so time has scarred our flesh. It has chronicled our obsession with the question to eat or not to eat, and etched tracks of crowing laughter and ravens of despair about our eyes. Your breast and belly, the surgeon's knife haunts still, as do the stretch and sag of pregnancy. Your body lives the history of our love more richly and more beautifully than this lover or any could deserve. Our passion feeds on liver spots, los besos de amor. You are becoming the woman I have always loved and perversely ever longed for. Your once fiery hair, though dimmed by age's ash, still consumes my sight, still dazzles me. I love you with a love I cannot utter, in words I cannot write, beyond the thousand shocks that flesh is heir to. You are the world to me, we say when we are young. But worlds are not created in a day. They emerge slowly out of chaos, like ancient lovers turning in their sleep. Thank you, David, for hosting, and thank you all for listening.
And I want to thank you, Doug Green, for reading for us from your book, Jumping the Medium, from Encircle Publications. I hope everyone enjoyed listening. I certainly did. Thank you for tuning in to our Third Wednesday YouTube channel. We hope to see you again. Goodbye for now.